The last time Uranus was in Gemini was in 1948. Before that, 1866. These were years marked by invention, upheaval, and radical shifts in how people moved, communicated, and connected with the world. And now we're entering it again from July 2025 until August 2032. And nothing about our reality, identity, or truth will ever be the same again. Uranus is the planet of innovation, disruption, and liberation. Gemini rules thought, communication, transportation, and information. Put them together, and you get a mental awakening, a cultural remix, and a collective rerouting of where we've been stuck in outdated thought loops, belief systems, and societal programming. This isn't just about faster tech or new apps. This is a spiritual software update. We can expect rebellion against mind control and censorship, upgrades in how we think, speak, and teach, quantum leaps in technology, transportation, and neurodiversity, mass rewiring of the subconscious, and the courage to speak the truth anyway. And because Uranus doesn't just ask for change, it demands it, you're going to feel this in the exact house Gemini rules in your birth chart. In this video, I'm going to break down what fresh new energy Uranus and Gemini is going to shake loose in your life, the breakthroughs you're meant to embody, and the key to staying grounded while everything around you shifts. So grab your birth chart and let's get into it.
Aries rising. So this transit marks the beginning of a revolution in your thinking, speaking, and the way that you interact with your immediate reality. The third house governs your mindset, internal dialogue, language patterns, learning style, communication with others, and how you make sense of the world. Uranus in Gemini here is about more than just learning new things. It's about radically unlearning what you were taught to believe. The rules you've unconsciously followed in conversations, content, or self-expression, they're being shattered. The quiet habits of over-rationalizing or undersharing, it's no longer compatible with your energy. This is a shift that will rewire how you talk to yourself internally, how you communicate with others, especially siblings or close peers, the role your voice plays in your life path, and your relationship with information and how you learn or teach. You'll begin to notice sudden urges to speak your truth, experiment with new forms of expression, challenge traditional communication structures, and embrace a level of mental freedom that can feel both exhilarating and destabilizing. Your nervous system may feel activated during this time because your old mental operating system is being rewritten. This is not the time to play it safe with your words. You're stepping into your role as a thought leader, innovator, or disruptor in your local or digital communities. You may also feel called to launch new online platforms or written or spoken projects, break generational silence in your family, completely redefine your voice or message, heal your relationship with your siblings or community through truth telling. or even mentally detach from drama and rewire your inner voice toward sovereignty. This transit doesn't ask for polished, perfect opinions. It asks for authentic transmission, not because you're trying to teach, but because your truth is your frequency. Now, upon Uranus entering Gemini, it will make a few aspects. One of them being a sextile to Saturn and Neptune in Aries, which, of course, is your first house. So you're beginning to embody a whole new identity. And Uranus is helping you liberate your self-concept from old karmic loops. Saturn brings the structure to rebuild who you are in reality, while Neptune helps you imagine new potentials you haven't even considered. Together, they work with Uranus to pull you into your raw, unfiltered essence, aligning your speech and style with who you truly are. This is you, without pretense or apology. Over the next few years, expect to feel more called to speak up for yourself, even in spaces where you used to stay silent. The way you describe yourself, the way you walk into rooms, and the energy behind your words is being rewritten. Now, the next aspect is Uranus will make a trine to Pluto in Aquarius, which is your 11th house. So Pluto is transforming your long-term vision, your social circles, and your collective role. Uranus in your third house activates how you talk about your future, how you influence others, and how you participate in conversations that reach beyond the surface. You're no longer here to just be one of the voices. You're here to spark ideas that wake people up. Expect massive shifts in the types of communities you're drawn to. You may break away from echo chambers and build new spaces rooted in revolutionary thought, deeper purpose, and personal freedom. Your voice isn't just changing your life, it's contributing to collective change. Now, another aspect is that Uranus will make a sextile to the Sun in Leo, which is your 5th house. So this aspect invites you to reconnect your voice to your joy, your creativity, and your radiance. So speaking, writing, or teaching becomes an act of self-celebration and visibility. You're not meant to share knowledge mechanically. You're meant to light people up with your unique perspective. So you may be called to pursue public speaking, storytelling, creative performance, or unapologetic content creation. Expect more boldness in how you express your passions, especially if you've previously felt the need to tone things down. Now, there's a few things that you can expect from this transit, one of them being massive shifts in mindset. So old thought patterns will dissolve, sometimes suddenly. What once made sense may feel laughably outdated. You'll start trusting your own inner knowing more than external input. Next is creative expression becomes urgent. So you won't be able to stay quiet. Your soul will demand to be expressed, whether through speaking, writing, designing, or broadcasting. The more playful and real you are, the more magnetic your message becomes. Next is siblings or friendships may evolve drastically. So if you've been stuck in an old dynamic, things could shift overnight. Distance, reconnection, or truth telling may emerge to rebalance the relationships. Another is that your daily life may feel chaotic at times. So you may find yourself wanting to break free from your environment, explore new spaces, or change how you interact with your neighborhood or digital world. That's not restlessness. It's your intuition asking for stimulus that matches your growth. And information overload is possible. So your brain may move faster than usual. So keep track of downloads, but don't try to organize them too soon. Let them flow. Uranus rewards spontaneity, not spreadsheets. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this energy is first to let your message evolve. You don't need a fully packaged brand voice or mission statement. Speak as you evolve. Teach what you're learning in real time. Next is to create outlets for your thoughts. So, a podcast, a writing ritual, a YouTube channel, a voice note journal. Don't keep it all in your head. Your nervous system needs release. Next is to update your inner language. So watch how you talk to yourself. Shift from self-criticism to radical affirmation. Words have power, and yours are reprogramming your reality. Next is to unplug from group think. So if you feel overstimulated or reactive, step back from digital noise. Uranus and Gemini can bring clarity through silence. Your next breakthrough might arrive when you disconnect. And finally, challenge old scripts. Notice where you recite stories that no longer feel true about who you are, what people think of you, or what you're capable of. This is the time to interrupt those patterns mid-thought and choose a different narrative. A great affirmation for you for this Uranus and Gemini transit is, my thoughts are electric, my words are sacred, and my voice is the key that unlocks my next level of freedom. Let me know how this shift is showing up for you in the comments below. And be sure to like, send this to a friend who needs it, and subscribe so you never miss an upgrade. And if you're ready to follow the nudge that brought you here, my signature one-on-one sessions and tools are all in the description box below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Taurus rising. So this is the moment your entire relationship with money, self-worth, and personal power gets rewritten from the ground up. With Uranus entering your second house, you are stepping into a new era where your income, confidence, and value systems are no longer allowed to stay on autopilot. Uranus, the planet of disruption, genius, and liberation, wants to set you free from the beliefs, behaviors, and attachments that have quietly controlled your sense of security. This is about more than income. It's about energetic currency. Where do you invest your time and energy? What do you really believe you're worth? And what have you been taught about stability? And is it keeping you stuck? This transit can bring sudden shifts in income, both windfalls and wake-up calls. A desire to pivot how or where you make money. A growing intolerance for being undervalued or underpaid. A pull toward unconventional income streams, spiritual business, or intellectual property monetization. as well as a deep internal push to detach from material validation and create wealth from integrity. Uranus here isn't about chasing riches. It's about liberating yourself from scarcity at the root. This transit will challenge any tendency to equate self-worth with productivity, perfection, or financial status. The question becomes, who am I when nothing external defines me? Now, upon entering Gemini, Uranus will make some initial aspects. One of them is Uranus will make a sextile to Saturn and Neptune, both in Aries, in your 12th house. This is a powerful, energetic reset, combining the mystical and the structural in the house of subconscious patterns, soul healing, and spiritual surrender. As you shift your outer relationship to money and value, your inner world is being reprogrammed to release old karmic debts, spiritual guilt, and self-sabotaging narratives. Expect deep realizations about how your sense of worth has been shaped by the invisible, such as ancestral patterns, spiritual wounds, past lives, or hidden fears. You're learning to trust that divine timing and energetic alignment can bring you more abundance than overworking ever could. Next, Uranus will make a trine to Pluto in Aquarius in your 10th house. So this is a massive career activation. Pluto is already reconstructing your purpose and public image. Now, Uranus is helping you align that evolution with how you earn, what you offer, and the value you place on your contributions. You are being pushed to monetize your magic differently. Old business models may collapse. Titles that once felt aspirational may suddenly feel constraining. You're being called to build a career rooted in soul-aligned value, not external approval. Expect major downloads around pricing, positioning, and income that reflects your actual worth, not your former limits. Uranus will also sextile the Sun in Leo, which is your 4th house. So this aspect brings a stabilizing but liberating current into your emotional foundation and home life. As you break free financially and redefine your value, you'll notice changes in your family dynamics, relationship with home, and inner sense of safety. So you may feel more empowered to create a home that reflects your true values. You may relocate for better energetic alignment, or finally stop shrinking to make others comfortable. This supports your rising confidence and desire to live in a way that feels like yours, not inherited or expected. Once Uranus is in Gemini, you can expect sudden income shifts, new revenue streams, job changes, business pivots, or financial surprises. These moments aren't setbacks, they're initiations into greater sovereignty. You can also expect massive self-worth upgrades. You're no longer tolerating being overlooked, underpaid, or emotionally indebted in relationships, jobs, or family systems. You can also expect a pull toward spiritual entrepreneurship or unconventional money paths. Your gifts may suddenly feel too important to keep buried or undervalued. You can also expect detachment from materialism, but a deeper relationship with true wealth. So you may find yourself desiring less stuff, but more freedom, peace, and value-rich experiences, as well as a redefinition of values. What you used to chase may no longer inspire you. You're being called to live according to what matters now, not what once gave you identity. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Uranus and Gemini energy is first to audit your worth story. So where do you still think you have to earn love, rest, or money? Start telling a new one. Your inherent value doesn't fluctuate with your output. Next is to rebuild your income from alignment. Let your values drive how you price, package, and present yourself. You're not meant to market from fear. You're meant to own your gifts unapologetically. Next is to release the need to prove. You don't need to be perfect to be paid, respected, or chosen. Let imperfection be part of your magnetism. Next is to ground into body wisdom. Your body will tell you when you're betraying your worth. Watch for tension, gut reactions, or burnout symptoms. Uranus may speak through your somatic signals first. And finally, explore new money models. Licensing your knowledge, passive income, intellectual property, investment. Think beyond trade time for money. You're being pushed into more expansive wealth frameworks. A great affirmation for this Uranus and Gemini energy is, I release scarcity, embody my worth, and create abundance rooted in freedom, not fear. Be sure to let me know how this shift is showing up for you in the comments below. And if this spoke to you, be sure to like it, share it with someone you love, and subscribe to stay in the vibe. And if you're ready to align with the version of you that actually gets what they want, my signature one-on-one sessions and tools are all in the description box below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Gemini rising. So, of course, this is your revolution. With Uranus entering your first house, everything about who you are, how you express yourself, how others perceive you, how you move through the world is about to be awakened, disrupted, and liberated. This is not a surface level makeover. This is an identity level detachment from the false self. You're not just changing how you look. You're changing the energetic signature of your presence. So over the next 8 years, you'll experience sudden shifts in personality, physical appearance, or self-perception. A bold desire to reinvent how you show up. Breaks from old versions of yourself that were based on fear, survival, or performance. New levels of confidence in being your weird, brilliant, authentic self, as well as a complete reintroduction of who you are, what you stand for, and how you carry your truth. So people may say, you've changed. And you'll say, exactly. The way your brain, voice, and body integrate will feel completely different. Your nervous system is being rewired to tolerate more truth, more attention, more uniqueness, and more internal alignment than ever before. So you may feel more sensitive to noise, labels, and outdated identities. You may no longer resonate with the roles you used to play in relationships or career. You may wake up one day and realize you're done pretending. You may shift your style, your path, or your entire trajectory in a way that feels sudden to others, but divinely timed to you. This isn't an identity crisis. It's an identity awakening. Now, upon Uranus entering Gemini, is going to make a few aspects. The first of those is that Uranus is going to sextile Saturn and Neptune, both in Aries, in your 11th house. So your reinvention is deeply tied to your future vision and collective belonging. As you change, your audience, friendships, and social roles shift too. This aspect helps you to create structure and soul around what kind of leader, voice, or visionary you want to be in the world. So you may step into roles that let you guide others while still being yourself. Your evolution is magnetizing the right people, but only when you stop hiding behind what used to be acceptable. Uranus will also make a trine aspect to Pluto, currently in Aquarius in your 9th house. So Pluto is transforming how you relate to truth, teaching, travel, and higher wisdom. With Uranus in your 1st house, these two together crack open your identity around what you believe. So you're no longer here to simply absorb information. You're here to translate it through your own lens, question every structure, and teach from embodied originality. So expect shifts in spiritual philosophy, educational paths, and your desire to build a life that reflects your beliefs, not your past. Uranus will also make a sextile to the Sun in Leo, which is your 3rd house. So this aspect brings radiant confidence to your voice and communication style. So you're not just changing how you think, you're learning to speak with sovereignty, teach with fire, and write with purpose. So you'll feel more expressive, more vocal, and less filtered. If you've ever been afraid to say the thing that truly needs to be said, this aspect helps you break that silence. It's a reawakening of the real you through your words. So for you, the energy of this transit is going to bring sudden shifts in personality, appearance, and personal direction. So you may shock yourself with how fast you outgrow old versions of you. You can expect an increased nervous system sensitivity. Your body will feel every misalignment more acutely. This transit is also going to bring a craving for authenticity that overrides people-pleasing. You're no longer available for shallow connection or fake roles. It's also going to bring in new beginnings that feel impulsive but deeply aligned. The best things will happen when you trust your frequency. It's also going to bring in possibly a disconnection from identities that were built on survival. So if you used to shapeshift to be loved, that chapter is closing. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this new Uranus and Gemini energy is first to allow your self-expression to evolve without explanation. Your identity isn't static. So let people witness your becoming, even if they don't understand it. Next is to honor your body as a communicator. So your physical instincts will be stronger than ever. Sudden discomfort, surges of energy, or intuitive hits are a part of your rewiring. Next is to take up space. Say the thing, wear the outfit, be that person. Uranus in your first house means you are the message now. Next is to create new rituals for presence. So meditation, breath work, or mirror work can help you stay grounded through these identity upgrades. And finally, let your old self grieve. Some parts of you are armor. As they fall away, feel it. Then step forward with more truth. A great affirmation for you for this Uranus and Gemini energy is, I release old identities with grace and step into my truth with bold, unapologetic power. Let me know how this shift is showing up for you in the comments below. And of course, go ahead and send this to a friend who's ready for a shift, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And if you're ready to flow into the timeline that's already aligned for you, my signature one-on-one sessions and tools are all in the description box below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Cancer rising. So for you, this transit isn't about outer action. It's about radical inner awakening. With Uranus moving into your 12th house, the next 8 years are about breaking free from the hidden patterns, emotional dependencies, and karmic conditioning that have quietly shaped your life from behind the scenes. This is spiritual revolution, a psychic untethering, a soul-level detox of everything you've internalized, especially the fears, beliefs, and identities you picked up from others that were never really yours. So with this transit, you can expect the following to rise. So sudden intuitive downloads and psychic flashes, unexpected revelations in dreams or meditations, a deep urge to retreat, reset, and redefine your inner world, encounters with spiritual teachings, healing modalities, or past life memories that feel like home, as well as the collapse of emotional patterns that once felt normal but are now clearly survival mechanisms. The 12th house is often invisible, but this Uranus transit will make the invisible unavoidable. Any illusions that have been keeping you safe will begin to fracture, not to break you, but to free the part of you that was buried under obligation, overfunctioning, or quiet suffering. This is not a collapse. It's a soul jailbreak. So upon Uranus's entrance into Gemini, it's going to make a couple of aspects. So the first one is that it's going to make a sextile to both Saturn and Neptune in Aries, which is your 10th house. So you are releasing the pressure to succeed according to external timelines or expectations. These aspects help you restructure your public identity and career path from the inside out. If you've been holding yourself to perfectionistic standards in your career or suppressing your intuition to keep it professional, that stops now. Uranus awakens your spiritual authority and redefines success through emotional sovereignty. Your outer world will shift, but only as a reflection of the inner work you're ready to do. Next, Uranus will trine Pluto in Aquarius, which is your 8th house. So this is deep shadow alchemy. With Pluto excavating your traumas, taboos, and emotional entanglements in the 8th house, Uranus in your 12th brings clarity to what's been hidden or avoided. So you may finally understand patterns of abandonment, emotional suppression, or past life wounds that you've carried for lifetimes. This is about clearing energetic contracts and releasing karmic ties that were keeping your spiritual energy fragmented. So expect breakthroughs in your healing journey and sudden moments of soul remembrance. Now, Uranus will also make a sextile to the Sun in Leo. This aspect brings grounding to the emotional work through a reconnection with your self-worth and value system. As you release subconscious patterns, you'll feel called to rebuild your worth from the inside out. No more chasing validation, no more sacrificing your needs. You'll begin to feel how your energetic value shapes your outer abundance and how trusting your inner voice creates external stability. So overall, with this transit, you can expect major awakenings through solitude, dreams, and spiritual study. You may begin craving more time alone, but it won't feel lonely. It'll feel sacred. You can also expect an increase in psychic sensitivity and intuitive intelligence. So you'll notice more synchronicities, prophetic dreams, and energy shifts that guide your decisions. Also, emotional detoxing from generational or karmic baggage, especially from maternal lines, childhood trauma, or religious/spiritual guilt. You can also expect sudden endings or completions. Friendships, beliefs, habits, or obligations may end abruptly, but those endings are the exact freedom your soul has been asking for. And you can also expect a redefinition of your relationship with spirituality. So you may discover new healing modalities, mystical practices, or soul missions that become central to your growth. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this energy is first to prioritize solitude without isolating. So create sacred space for rest, reflection, journaling, and spiritual work. The downloads will come when you're still enough to receive them. Next is shadow work. So this is an ideal time for coaching, hypnosis, somatic healing, inner child work, or dream journaling. While doing shadow work, just know that you're not broken. you're becoming whole. Next is to clear your psychic field. So pay attention to emotional leakage, release cords, cleanse your energy regularly, especially if you tend to absorb others' pain. Next is to learn to trust your intuition over logic. Uranus will send insights through dreams, symbols, body sensations, and sudden knowing. Practice following those inner hits. And finally, release guilt. Self-sacrifice and silent suffering are no longer your contracts. So you can be empathetic without sacrificing yourself. A great affirmation for you for this Uranus and Gemini energy is, I trust my inner truth, release hidden burdens, and rise rooted in spiritual clarity and self-compassion. Let me know how this shift is showing up for you in the comments below. And be sure to like, pass this along to a friend, and subscribe so you stay aligned with the vibe. And if you're done playing small with your power, my signature one-on-one sessions and tools are all in the description box below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Leo rising. So this is your cosmic shakeup of purpose, platform, and the people around you. With Uranus activating your 11th house, the universe is rewriting how you relate to friendship, visibility, soul-aligned community, and your big picture dreams. This isn't just a new network. It's a new frequency of leadership. So expect to feel a pull to detach from performative roles in social settings. The rise of visionary thinking that doesn't fit the old mold. A desire to pivot your brand, platform, or message to reflect more freedom and less facade. As well as the collapse of old friend groups, communities, or long-term plans that are no longer aligned. This is about stepping out of group dynamics that required you to play small, perform, or dilute your power to be accepted, and stepping into networks where your authenticity is not only seen, but essential. The 11th house governs your impact, your digital audience, your future goals, and how you plug into the collective grid. With Uranus here, you're not just joining the conversation. You're shifting it entirely. So you may find yourself building a brand or movement that challenges the status quo, leaving behind followers who liked the old you but weren't aligned with your essence, receiving intuitive downloads about your role in shaping a better future, calling in collaborators and your soul family who mirror the real you, not the curated version, as well as dreaming in ways that scare you, but also excite you. Now, upon Uranus entering Gemini, it's going to make a few aspects. One of them is that it will make a sextile to both Saturn and Neptune in Aries, which is your 9th house. So your long-term vision is being spiritually upgraded and strategically restructured. The goals you once had may feel too safe or small. These aspects awaken a more soul-aligned mission, one that stretches your perspective and asks you to teach, travel, or lead in bolder, more intuitive ways. This is your cue to stop shrinking your vision to match other people's comfort zones. You're here to share big truth, and Uranus will help you break free from old systems, ideologies, or belief-based limitations. Now, Uranus will also make a trine aspect to Pluto in Aquarius, which is your 7th house. This is a powerful activation between your public self and your intimate relationships. So, as your community and audience shifts, so do your partnerships. So, you may attract new collaborators, clients, or soulmates who challenge you to lead with vulnerability, truth, and mutual power. This also helps you to heal relational dynamics where you felt the need to overgive, manage others' emotions, or play the likable version of yourself. You're calling in people who mirror your transformation, not your mask. And also, Uranus will make a sextile to the Sun in Leo, which of course is your 1st house. This is an electrifying alignment between your true self and your public role. You're being given cosmic permission to be seen fully. No edits, no apologies. This is about radiating in your raw authenticity and letting your individuality drive the vision. You're not meant to fit the mold. You're here to break it wide open with joy, genius, and bold leadership. Overall, there are a few things that you can expect from this transit. One of them being major shifts in community and friendships. So people may exit your life suddenly and new soul-aligned connections may appear just as quickly. Also, a rebranding or redefinition of your digital presence or business goals. You're being called to evolve publicly. You can expect innovative projects and platforms. So you'll be guided to build the future, not recycle the past. Also, breakthroughs around belonging and acceptance, especially realizing you don't need to tone yourself down to be part of something. Also, unexpected opportunities to lead or contribute to social change, especially through writing, speaking, or digital platforms. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this energy is first to let go of outdated dreams. If your 10-year plan no longer fits, that's not failure, it's alignment. Let your desires expand with your evolution. Next is to redefine community. You're not meant to blend in. Curate your tribe based on energy, not optics. Next is to take creative risk in public. So this is not the time to play it safe. Your impact lives in your boldness. Next is to build digital sanctuaries. So whether through platforms, groups, or broadcast, share your truth where it feels good, not just where it gets applause. And finally, dream out loud. Speak your future into existence. The more outrageous your vision sounds, the more on track it probably is. A great affirmation for you for this Uranus and Gemini energy is, I claim my future, align with visionary community, and radiate my truth with fearless clarity. Be sure to let me know how this shift is showing up for you in the comments below. And of course, go ahead and send this to a friend who's ready for a shift, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And if you're ready to stop watching and start leveling up, my signature one-on-one sessions and tools are all in the description box below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Virgo rising. So your public role is about to shift radically. With Uranus entering your 10th house, the next 8 years are your invitation to break free from societal definitions of success and reimagine your legacy on your own terms. This is about more than a job title. It's about who you are when you stop performing perfection and start leading with your authentic voice. So expect the urge to pivot careers or callings unexpectedly. Redefine your personal brand or reputation. Walk away from positions, roles, or public responsibilities that feel false or confining, as well as the urge to start something innovative, unconventional, or digital, and even publicly embracing the aspects of your purpose that once felt too much or not enough. If you've been known for being responsible, hardworking, and quietly excellent, Uranus says it's time to disrupt the narrative. Your next era isn't about proving, it's about expressing. The old framework of, if I do it right, they'll respect me, is now being replaced with, if I show up as me, I'll attract what's aligned. This is an invitation to lead through originality, not obligation, to release the outdated performance of professionalism and let your genius shape your work, not your fear. Now, upon Uranus's entrance into Gemini, it's going to make a few aspects. One of them is Uranus will be making a sextile to both Saturn and Neptune in Aries, which is your 8th house. You're building a career path that reflects your deepest transformation. With the 8th house involved, this is about reclaiming power from fear, trauma, and emotional suppression. You are no longer here to carry other people's expectations or play small in the name of stability. You may face uncomfortable truths about how much of your ambition has been driven by survival or control. But Uranus brings the courage to detach from legacy wounds and build success from authenticity. You're clearing energetic debts, not just professional blocks. Next is Uranus will make a trine aspect to Pluto in Aquarius, which is your 6th house. Pluto is transforming your work ethic, routines, and relationship with service. With this trine, Uranus helps you liberate your workflow, heal your burnout patterns, and rewire how you show up day to day. You are not meant to do everything for everyone anymore. You're meant to channel your brilliance where it matters most and let go of guilt around being seen, leading, or setting boundaries. Expect upgrades in how you structure your business, manage your time, or serve your audience in new and sustainable ways. Next, Uranus will make a sextile to the Sun in Leo, which is your 12th house. This beautiful aspect connects your public path with your spiritual self. So you may receive career direction through dreams, divine downloads, or silent inner knowing. As you rise into more visibility, Uranus helps you stay connected to your soul, not just your schedule. This gives you the ability to lead with grace and embody purpose without ego. You don't have to broadcast everything. You just have to trust that your energy speaks volumes, even in stillness. So overall, from this transit, you can expect major career plot twists. What once felt secure may fall apart to make space for alignment, as well as a pull to work in non-traditional, flexible, or highly creative ways. You can also expect a reinvention of your public image. So you may shift industries, change your name, launch a brand, or go from behind the scenes to center stage. This transit can also bring an increased intolerance for control, hierarchy, or false authority, as well as a magnetism that grows when you stop trying to do it right and start doing it your way. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Uranus in Gemini energy is, first, is to stop chasing gold stars. You're not here to be the best at playing a game you don't believe in. Redefine success based on freedom, fulfillment, and resonance. Next is to use your voice, whether in presentations, posts, branding, or mentorship. Your perspective is what makes you powerful. Next is to detach from legacy guilt. You don't need to follow your family's definition of achievement. You're building a new lineage rooted in truth. Next is to trust divine timing. You may not see the full career picture yet, but the pieces will click as you follow your intuitive nudges. And finally, experiment publicly. You don't have to be fully polished to be impactful. Show your process. Your transparency is your credibility. A great affirmation for you for this Uranus and Gemini energy is, I break free from expectation, lead with clarity, and create success that honors my evolution. Let me know how this shift is showing up for you in the comments below. And be sure to hit like, send this to someone who needs this reminder, and subscribe to stay tapped in. And if you're ready to invest in your highest timeline like it's a non-negotiable, my signature one-on-one sessions and tools are all in the description box below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Libra rising. So this is your awakening to the life you didn't know you were allowed to dream about. With Uranus in your 9th house, the next 8 years will radically shift your worldview, beliefs, purpose, path, and connection to the bigger picture. Where you once played small to keep things pretty or palatable, Uranus is here to break the mental chains and unleash your future self. So expect sudden clarity that the dream you were chasing isn't your dream anymore, as well as unexpected opportunities to teach, write, speak, or share your message. Major shifts in spiritual or religious beliefs. A deep hunger to travel, study, relocate, or experience life through a bigger lens, as well as a total rewire of the question, what do I actually believe in? This isn't about learning more. It's about remembering the truth inside you that you've been trained to override. Uranus will shock you out of the shoulds and into your sovereign wisdom. It may feel destabilizing at first, but it's actually setting you free. This transit asks, who are you when you're not trying to make sense to others? Who are you when your life becomes an embodiment of your truth, not just a performance of balance? Now, upon Uranus's entrance into Gemini, it's going to make a few aspects. One of them is that Uranus will make a sextile to both Saturn and Neptune in Aries, which is your 7th house. Your relationships are mirrors for your belief system. Uranus is helping you detach your partnerships that reflect outdated ideals, especially around what you think you should be in love, commitment, or collaboration. Expect to be called into more soul-aligned unions, ones that expand your worldview rather than reinforce your safety. This aspect helps you to restructure your relational patterns around truth, not obligation. Next, Uranus will make a trine to Pluto in Aquarius, which is your 5th house. Your voice is a vessel for transformation. This trine unleashes the part of you that's been silenced in the name of keeping the peace. Pluto is resurrecting your raw self-expression, and Uranus is asking you to speak, write, create, and live from that space of unapologetic soul fire. You might find your creative projects take on a life of their own, especially those tied to spirituality, advocacy, education, or innovation. Uranus will also make a sextile to the Sun in Leo in your 11th house. So the more you embrace your weird, the more you magnetize your people. This aspect gives you permission to step fully into your role as a visionary leader, not the kind that forces authority, but the kind who radiates it by being real. So expect to attract new networks, followers, collaborators, or soul family by simply being in your truth and living it out loud. You're not just learning, you're here to teach and lead. So overall, from this transit, you can expect massive shifts in what you believe is possible for you. New paths opening through education, travel, publishing, or spiritual growth. Breakdowns in old religious or dogmatic thinking and breakthroughs in intuitive wisdom. A desire to leave behind environments that limit your expansion, as well as unexpected opportunities to share your story or message with a wider audience. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Uranus and Gemini energy is first to question everything, especially your shoulds. If your dream feels like a cage, it's time to redesign it. Next is to lean into what expands you. Follow the nudge to take a course, visit a new place, or write the thing you're scared to share. Next is to let go of needing approval. Not everyone will get your evolution. That's okay. This journey is for you. Next is to teach what you've lived. Don't wait to feel ready. You are a walking masterclass on resilience, reinvention, and realness. And finally, trust your inner compass. When logic fails, follow the frequency of excitement, curiosity, and purpose. That's your new GPS. A great affirmation for you for this Uranus and Gemini energy is, I trust my truth, expand beyond old limits, and boldly walk the path that sets my soul on fire. Let me know how this shift is showing up for you in the comments below. And if this spoke to you, be sure to like it, share it with someone you love, and subscribe to stay in the vibe. And if you've been waiting for a sign, hi, it's me. So check out my signature one-on-one sessions and tools, which are all in the description box below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Scorpio rising. This is your soul's jailbreak. With Uranus activating your 8th house, you are entering one of the most profound transformation chapters of your life. But unlike past cycles that demanded you to cling, this one dares you to release. Release control. Release contracts. Release all the psychic weight that was never yours to carry. With this transit, you can expect sudden shifts in shared finances, inheritance, or debt. The unraveling of deep energetic cords and soul ties, especially karmic or trauma bonded. You can expect a total reprogramming of what you associate with trust, intimacy, power, and control, as well as psychic upgrades and intuitive breakthroughs, and rebirth around emotional burnout, loss, or betrayal. This is not light work. It's sacred. But unlike past transformations that felt like you had to lose yourself to survive, this one is liberating you back into your essence. Where you've been addicted to chaos, survival, or secrecy, Uranus is flipping the script. You're not here to manage everyone else's baggage. You're here to reclaim your energy, magnetize your desires, and rise without apology. Now, upon Uranus's entrance into Gemini, it's going to make a few aspects. One of them is that it's going to make a sextile to Saturn and Neptune in Aries, which is your 6th house. So your healing becomes your new reality. This aspect transforms how you move through everyday life. Expect to rewire the way you hold stress, serve others, and manage your emotional energy in daily routines. You may finally find structure in your healing, making your energetic maintenance just as sacred as your to-do list. If you've been carrying other people's emotional chaos, this transit cuts the cord and shows you what your energy feels like when it's just yours. Next, Uranus will make a trine to Pluto in Aquarius, which is your 4th house. This aspect brings deep ancestral and root level transformation. You may experience breakthroughs related to family trauma, emotional enmeshment, or inherited beliefs around power and emotional expression. It's like a soul detox at the cellular level. You're breaking a cycle that's been running for generations and stepping into the version of you that can hold freedom without guilt. This is a deep inner child reclamation. Your inner safety no longer depends on other people's approval, presence, or protection. It lives within you now. Uranus will also make a sextile to the Sun in Leo, which is your 10th house. Your professional rebirth is tied to your personal healing. This aspect says, the more you clear, the more you rise. Expect your public role to shift as you own your story in a more powerful way. Your light and your shadow are not separate. They're the same torch. You're becoming magnetic by being transparent. Leadership will come through lived wisdom, not polished perfection. So overall, you can expect this transit to bring energetic severing of old karmic ties and soul contracts, powerful awakenings around sexual, emotional, or financial codependency, releases or collapses of long-standing patterns of control or survival thinking, healing of inherited trauma and family-based fears, a new relationship with death, endings, and the sacred unknown, as well as magnetism that increases as you stop hiding the truth of who you are. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Uranus and Gemini energy is to first cleanse your energy body regularly. Salt baths, cord cutting meditations, womb healing, breath work, whatever helps you come back to you. Next is to detach from what drains you. Even if you used to think it was yours to carry, it's not. Next is to embrace taboo desires. You are free to want what you want and receive it without shame, with harm to no one. Next is to reclaim your boundaries, especially in money, intimacy, and emotional labor. This transit will test you until you finally own your no. And finally, alchemize your pain into power. The thing you thought broke you, that's the doorway. A great affirmation for you for this Uranus and Gemini energy is, I release all that drains me, reclaim my power, and allow transformation to set me free. Be sure to let me know how this shift is showing up for you in the comments below. And if this spoke to you, be sure to like it, share it with someone you love, and subscribe to stay in the vibe. And if you're tired of the self-help spiral and just want real results, my signature one-on-one sessions and tools are all in the description box below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Sagittarius rising. Everything you thought you knew about love, partnership, and connection is about to shift radically. With Uranus entering your 7th house, this is not about improving the relationships you've outgrown. It's about liberating yourself from the stories that made you abandon who you are to be loved. So you can expect sudden beginnings and endings in relationships, unconventional partnerships, or new relationship styles. The desire to break free from outdated roles and obligations in love. Major shifts in how you mirror or project yourself through others, as well as unexpected karmic reconnections or shocking clarity around past bonds. This transit is here to show you the patterns you've been playing out in relationships, especially the ones where you thought you had to perform, fix, or shrink to keep the peace. Uranus cracks open the truth. You don't need to be chosen to be whole. This is a time to radically realign with partnerships that reflect your freedom, not your fear. You're not here to find someone who completes you. You're here to experience love that celebrates the full you. Now, upon Uranus's entrance into Gemini, it's going to make a few aspects. One of them is that Uranus will be in a sextile with both Saturn and Neptune in Aries, which is your 5th house. You're healing old love wounds by creating from your inner child. This aspect opens your heart to play, joy, pleasure, and authentic expression, which deeply impacts how you show up in relationships. You're no longer molding yourself to be liked. You're magnetizing people who love you for exactly who you are. This is also a beautiful transit for healing love addiction, inner child neglect, and romantic fantasy loops. Now, Uranus will also make a trine to Pluto in Aquarius, which is your 3rd house. Your communication is transforming into a superpower. This aspect upgrades how you speak, listen, and process emotions in relationships. So you may completely rewrite how you express boundaries, needs, and truth. Expect powerful realizations about how your words have been shaped by fear of abandonment or rejection. Now you're learning to communicate from wholeness, not wound. Uranus will also make a sextile to the Sun in Leo, which is your 9th house. Your relationships are expanding your worldview. So you may connect with people from different cultures, belief systems, or spiritual paths that shift how you see everything. This is soulmate level activation through shared purpose and aligned vision. Partnerships now aren't just romantic. They're spiritual contracts for evolution, and you're ready. With Uranus entering Gemini, you can expect sudden shifts in relationship status, commitment, or dynamics, craving more freedom and space within connections, realizing you've outgrown patterns of people-pleasing or over-accommodating, magnetic attraction to those who mirror your growth, not your wounds, and a total shift in how you define love, loyalty, and intimacy. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Uranus in Gemini energy is first to let go of outdated love stories. You don't need to carry past heartbreaks as prophecy. Just because something felt like love doesn't mean it was love. And just because it ended doesn't mean it failed. This is your invitation to redefine what connection truly feels like when it honors all of you. Next is to give yourself permission to choose you. You've spent lifetimes adapting, sacrificing, and staying too long. That pattern ends now. Start with micro decisions, saying no, asking for space, claiming what you want without apology. Next is to speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. Uranus wants your voice unfiltered. Don't shrink it to maintain peace. Every time you share honestly, you're sending out a signal to the world. Only the aligned may enter. Next is to explore non-traditional dynamics, whether it's unconventional partnerships, emotional detachment, or deep, soulful bonds that don't fit the mold. Be curious. Let relationships evolve without clinging to definitions. You are here to experience, not just label. And finally, see every relationship as a mirror. That trigger, that pull, that obsession, it's not about them. It's about you. Learn from the discomfort. Celebrate the clarity. And remember, every person you meet is helping you remember who you are. A great affirmation for you for this Uranus and Gemini transit is, I am worthy of relationships that reflect my freedom, truth, and soul evolution. Let me know how this shift is showing up for you in the comments below. And be sure to like, send this to a friend who needs it, and subscribe so you never miss an upgrade. And if you're ready to invest in your highest timeline like it's a non-negotiable, my signature one-on-one sessions and tools are all in the description box below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Capricorn rising. So you are about to radically restructure the systems you live inside of. Uranus in your sixth house is a wake-up call to stop sacrificing your energy in the name of being useful. You've mastered the grind, the responsibility, the efficiency, but now you're being asked to shift into alignment over obligation. Expect sudden shifts in your daily schedule, job, or lifestyle. Unexpected health awakenings or nervous system changes. A desire to work more intuitively, creatively, or independently. Disruptions that push you out of autopilot and into mindful embodiment, as well as a new relationship with your body, stress, and what it means to serve. This is where you finally break the loop of proving your worth through overgiving, overworking, or overfunctioning. Uranus wants to liberate you from the belief that being exhausted equals being valuable. The medicine for you here is to make your nervous system the main character. Build a life that supports your body, not just your goals. Now, as soon as Uranus enters Gemini, it's going to make a few different aspects. One of them is that it will be making a sextile to both Saturn and Neptune in Aries, which is your fourth house. This aspect helps you to create a daily rhythm that supports your emotional and energetic grounding. Healing family patterns and ancestral stress cycles will directly impact your health, focus, and ability to receive support. Expect insight into how your upbringing shaped your work ethic and permission to rebuild it with softness. Next, Uranus will make a trine to Pluto in Aquarius, which is your second house. You are transforming the link between your self-worth and your work. This trine supports powerful breakthroughs around money, embodiment, and what you're truly here to offer. You may realize you've been undercharging, over-delivering, or undervaluing your true gifts. Now you're invited to work smarter, not harder, and on your own terms. Uranus will also be making a sextile to the Sun in Leo, which is your 8th house. This adds intensity and depth to your upgrades. It's not just about your job. It's about your sacred, energetic exchanges. The more you clear the clutter, say no, and release codependent obligations, the more magnetic and clear your energy becomes. You're not here to do it all. You're here to be in your power, and that starts with how you manage your energy. Overall, you can expect this transit to bring major changes in your career structure, health habits, or routines. Releases from burnout cycles and chronic over-responsibility. New, unconventional approaches to wellness or work environments. Rewiring ancestral patterns of labor, productivity, and sacrifice, as well as more freedom, flexibility, and flow in your day-to-day life. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Uranus and Gemini energy is first to rebuild your schedule based on energy, not pressure. You're not a robot. If something drains your soul, it's costing more than it gives. Use energy levels as data. What activities leave you energized? What leaves you depleted? Adjust accordingly. Next is to create rituals that feel good to your body, not just your to-do list. Wellness isn't another task to dominate, whether it's barefoot walks, cooking with herbs, intuitive movement, or just breathing deeply. Let your body lead the way. Next is to let go of fixing yourself. Your wellness journey isn't about perfection. It's about returning to wholeness. No more chasing the ideal version of yourself. Start honoring the version of you that's here now. Already worthy, already enough. Next is to open to new ways of working. This is the era of flexibility. Maybe your path isn't 9 to 5. Maybe it's intuitive work, sacred service, or being a digital nomad. Don't box yourself in. Explore what's possible when freedom becomes the goal. And finally, know your enoughness. Your worth is not a deliverable. Stop measuring your value by output, productivity, or performance. You are a miracle in motion, and your rest, your joy, and your healing are contributions to the world. A great affirmation for you for this Uranus and Gemini transit is, I honor my energy, trust my value, and create a life that supports my body and spirit. Be sure to let me know how this shift is showing up for you in the comments. And of course, be sure to like, send this to a friend who needs it, and subscribe so you never miss an upgrade. And if you're ready to invest in your highest timeline like it's a non-negotiable, my signature one-on-one sessions and tools are all in the description box below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Aquarius rising. So this is your invitation to rewrite what it means to be seen, and more importantly, to be fully alive. With Uranus entering your 5th house, your relationship with your creativity, your inner child, and your desire to shine is going through a radical upgrade. This is about reclaiming the parts of you that were silenced, censored, or shamed, especially the playful, passionate, loud, or too much parts. With this new energy, expect to attract wild, creative breakthroughs and new forms of self-expression. You can expect sudden desires for freedom in love, dating, or romance, liberation from old fears of being seen, judged, or misunderstood, unconventional paths to joy, pleasure, and passion, as well as inner child healing that unlocks your authentic voice. This isn't just about art or romance. It's about remembering what lights you up and giving yourself full permission to follow it. No more performing, perfecting, or dimming. Uranus wants to shock your system out of seriousness and remind you, joy is not a luxury. It's a soul need. Now, upon Uranus entering Gemini, it's going to make a few aspects. One of them is that Uranus will be making a sextile to both Saturn and Neptune in Aries, which is your 3rd house. So with this transit, you are healing old narratives that said you had to be logical to be respected. This aspect upgrades your voice, your storytelling, and your ability to communicate from a place of vibrant, embodied truth. So expect intuitive hits, idea explosions, and an urge to speak your truth with more boldness, even if it disrupts what people expect from you. Next, Uranus will be making a trine to Pluto in Aquarius, which of course is your 1st house. This is a massive personal rebirth energy. With Pluto in your sign and Uranus in your 5th, your self-identity and creative power are fusing together. Who you are is what you create. So expect reinvention, expect visibility, and expect soul-level transformation. You're finally becoming the version of you that doesn't water yourself down. You are the art. Next, Uranus will make a sextile to the Sun in Leo, which is your 7th house. So love and collaboration come alive in unexpected ways. This aspect brings partners and relationships that celebrate your weird, wild brilliance. It's about soul contracts that uplift your creative essence, not ones that tame it. You are now attracting people who mirror your evolution and reflect the parts of you that are just now waking up. So overall, you can expect this transit to bring in reinvention of your creative gifts and visibility, healing fear of being too much, too loud, or too expressive, major upgrades in your confidence, magnetism, and joy, unexpected romantic developments or reawakening of your sexual energy, as well as inner child breakthroughs that change how you play, love, and lead. Some of the best ways for you to work with this Uranus and Gemini energy is to first say yes to creative urges, even if they feel strange, wild, or off-brand. These nudges are soul downloads, not distractions. Follow the urge to paint, write, sing, design, or build. Your future self is waiting in those expressions. Next is to let joy guide your decisions. If it feels deadening, it's likely not aligned. Joy isn't a luxury. It's your North Star now. Prioritize what lights you up, whether that's spontaneous trips, silly ideas, or taking a dance break between tasks. Next is to take up space literally and energetically. This is not the time to shrink. Use your full voice. Walk with presence. Own your weird, your beauty, your genius. You're not here to fit in. You're here to shift the entire room. Next is to break the perfection loop. Start before you're ready. Share before it's polished. Let your process be messy, human, and alive. You'll find your truest genius when you're not trying to impress, just trying to express. And finally, romanticize your own essence. Fall in love with your uniqueness again. From the way you speak to how you move, celebrate your own magic. Let pleasure, style, and playfulness return to your mirror. You are your own muse. A great affirmation for you for this Uranus and Gemini transit is, I express my truth boldly, create from joy, and allow my essence to be fully seen. Be sure to let me know how this shift is showing up for you in the comments below. And of course, be sure to like, pass this along to a friend, and subscribe so you stay aligned with the vibe. And if you're tired of the self-help spiral and just want real results, my signature one-on-one sessions and tools are all in the description box below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching. Pisces rising. So this is deep, internal, foundational change. The kind that doesn't just shift your environment, but reprograms your core. Uranus in the fourth house brings unexpected awakenings that shake loose the conditioning, trauma, or inherited patterns that have defined your relationship to home, safety, and belonging. This can bring sudden moves, renovations, or changes in your living situation. Unexpected shifts in family dynamics, roles, or closeness. You can also expect an internal urge to liberate yourself from emotional suppression, as well as repatterning childhood beliefs around security, love, and identity, and a pull towards creating a home that reflects your soul, not your survival story. This is ancestral, it's cellular, it's personal. You're no longer the keeper of family guilt, silence, or sacrifice. You are the cycle breaker, the frequency shifter, the one who says, it ends with me. Now, as soon as Uranus enters Gemini, it's going to make a few aspects. One of them is a sextile to Saturn and Neptune in Aries, which is your second house. So this brings grounded, embodied healing to your sense of safety and self-worth. You're stabilizing your internal value system and finding new ways to feel safe without people-pleasing or financial overfunctioning. So you may release survival-based habits tied to money, home life, or inherited insecurity, and begin building from a place of true inner security. Uranus will also make a trine aspect to Pluto in Aquarius, which is your 12th house. This is an incredibly spiritual and karmic aspect. Deep subconscious fears, ancestral pain, or emotional programming are being excavated and cleared. This is not just external, it's soul-level liberation. Expect moments of spiritual clarity, emotional purging, intuitive breakthroughs, and even divine encounters that shake your inner foundation into alignment. Uranus will also make a sextile to the Sun in Leo, which is your 6th house. The more you create healthy rituals around your body, work, and time, the more stable your inner world becomes. This transit invites you to anchor your nervous system through daily acts of care. You're learning that the right structure doesn't confine you, it frees you. The energy of this transit can bring radical shifts in your relationship with home, family, and roots, breaking generational cycles of emotional suppression or enmeshment, creating a living environment that reflects your truth, not your history, as well as upgrading your definition of safety to include freedom, peace, and honesty, and emotional releases that lead to deeper authenticity and alignment. Now, some of the best ways for you to work with this Uranus and Gemini energy is first to reclaim your emotional space. You're no longer available to absorb what others suppress, whether it's guilt-tripping family, codependent expectations, or the weight of being the emotional sponge. Return that energy to sender. This is your space now. Next is to change your home, change your life. Don't underestimate the power of your environment. Declutter objects that carry emotional weight. Redecorate to reflect the person you're becoming. Let your physical space mirror your inner evolution. Next is to grieve what wasn't safe. There are parts of your past, especially childhood, that deserve to be fully felt and released. Let yourself cry without judgment. The grief isn't weakness, it's release. Next is to create new family blueprints. You don't have to repeat the dynamics you were raised in. You're allowed to choose chosen family, new roles, and boundaries that actually serve you. Peace doesn't require proximity or approval. And finally, anchor into rituals that soothe your system. You're building safety with every breath, bath, journal entry, and candle that you light. Let the little things hold you. Ground your day with rituals that whisper, "You are home now." A great affirmation for you for this Uranus and Gemini transit is, "I am safe to be myself. I break the patterns that kept me small and build a life rooted in truth, peace, and freedom." Be sure to let me know how this shift is showing up for you in the comments below. And be sure to like, send this to a friend who needs it, and subscribe so you never miss an upgrade. And if you're ready to claim the version of you that doesn't settle, my signature one-on-one sessions and tools are all in the description box below. I appreciate you, and thanks so much for watching.